Your friends might have stories they never told you. Nadia met her Japanese fiancé on a dark street when he approached her in a car. James met his girlfriend when he saved her from a robber. Sabina's husband knows her body. Charles met his wife when he was barely able to speak Japanese. Andre met his first Japanese girlfriend at the gate of a U.S. Army base. This book offers a peek into the private lives of people from all over the world who have found love in Japan. Their dating stories in Japan are crazy, beautiful, and heartbreaking. They talk about how they approached, seduced, proposed to, broke up with, or married their boyfriends and girlfriends. They share tales of their mistakes, sex lives, cultural conflicts, lessons learned, and happy endings. Welcome to the exciting world of mixed dating in Japan.
Hi, I'm Riley Sky, and welcome to my first book review. Now, the book of topic I'm going to review today is something kind of special, and it's called There's Something I Want to Tell You, The Mixed Datings of Japan.
This interesting read comes to us by a Japanese blogger and author known as Yuta Aoki, whom dedicates his weekends traveling around Japan, obtaining insight from Japanese people and compile them into various topics for his videos and articles. He also teaches Japanese language lessons via his blog. His book, entitled There's Something I Want to Tell You, was released just last year after gathering different viewpoints from foreign people having a relationship with a Japanese person, vice versa with Japanese people to foreigners. It's a topic that tends to overshadow the main point of the discussion from biased viewpoints, and when you get a taste of what this book presents, it's anything but.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I want to buy a book on interracial relationship stories when I can surf the internet and find those same and similar exact stories and more? Well, there are a couple of reasons for that.
For one thing, the internet does give everyone the opportunity to post their opinions and whatever experiences they have with mixed dating of any kind. However, not every comment and post can be treated as reliable or credible information. More often than not, people can skew their perspectives far from the main focus to the point where all of a sudden things like politics, racism, and other random topics are brought into the mix. Blog posts are alright, but they have to be thoughtful and genuine to the topic. Otherwise, you can't use them as a reliable source for your papers. Occasionally, articles are posted on the web, but they don't really give readers a clear window of what interracial dating is like, as most of the times, they provide statistics of the realm. The best way to know what it's like is to hear about it from someone you know or experience it yourself and set your tone from there.
And I should know, I myself was in an interracial relationship before, but it wasn't with a Japanese girl, as she was Chinese. Although that's a more different and complicated story for another time. Maybe. But let's get back to this.
Another reason is that books such as this one can contain thorough and explained details than what those on the internet provide, and in the case of mixed dating, this book was written by a native Japanese, and some would be led to believe that much of the Japanese population are prejudiced against mixed dating, especially with Westerns. Thankfully, Yuta is not biased on his viewpoint, nor is he closed-minded on such a topic, and the process he went through to compile tons of stories into one collection is truly remarkable. Speaking of the stories, each one is separated by chapters where it involves Yuta interviewing both a foreign and Japanese individual, where they talk about the origin of their relationships, what obstacles they tackled, and how they overcame boundaries that seemed impossible to get over, along with the wisdom they take away from their experiences. Not every story you read will involve kisses and roses, as some can be sad, depressing, deviant, or even cruel in some ways. Those that don't succeed at this kind of relationship will learn so many things of what they could do to improve on what went wrong. My personal favorite is the one that involves a British gentleman falling in love with a traditional Japanese-style girl whom speaks little to no English, and it shows the kind of obstacles that come along with cultural differences that would negate a relationship such as this. Despite the barriers, they are happily married with a wonderful child. Without giving too much away, the stories told here are pretty incredible in more ways than one.
For something that is so well curious into many people's minds, even Westerns, this is actually a fascinating read. And while I did enjoy this book, there were a couple of things that bothered me.
My first gripe is pretty nitpicking, and it was something I noticed while reading. During segments where the interview process shows, Yuta asks the questions and makes his statements in bold sentences, while those telling the stories are in quotes. There are times where both Yuta and the interviewee are in quotation marks, as though one person is doing both tasks. So it can be a bit confusing on who's asking the questions and who's answering them. The other complaint I have, and it probably will affect many other readers, is the length of the book. Not counting the index and the blank pages, in total there are 219 readable pages, and for an average reader, that's a good amount. But for an above average reader such as myself who yearn for more content, between the time I opened the first page to the point where I wrapped it up, I managed to complete this book in about 3 days. With such a fascinating concept, I couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed with the amount I got from it. It's no Harry Potter novel, but a few more chapters and such would have added nice to its longevity. Yuta has admitted that he interviewed more people for this than what is in the final cut, so it just leaves you down in some ways, wondering what the other stories were and whether or not they had the same amount of significance as those in the book. To compensate for this, Yuta provides a free extra chapter to download along with his YouTube channel, That Japanese Man Yuta, which has nearly 200,000 subscribers. Quite an accomplishment for a Japanese YouTuber. His channel includes many videos on various topics of interviews conducted with the citizens of Japan, giving their insight, and yes, Yuta does translate them. I myself have been a subscriber for a year now, and what Yuta has presented, I haven't looked back, and I'm sure you won't either. You'd be amazed of what those in Japan have to say. He also provides free Japanese language lessons via email, which I mentioned earlier, and with discussing topics with his followers. Since Yuta has traveled the world, he surprisingly has a Spanish language-based channel on YouTube as well. He's also fluent in French, along with various goals he hopes to achieve, such as being a rap artist, creating dance videos, changing his country every once in a while, and understanding the ways of Jamaican patois. Anything else you want to add to your resume, Yuta?
So yeah, if you're curious about learning about these kind of stories and wanting to know from a much cleaner and thoughtful perspective, I highly recommend you pick up a copy of this book.
It's available as a physical paperback and as an ebook, all on Amazon. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will see you all later. Hey everyone, this is Riley Sky, and if you're still around after the review, I wanted to thank you once again for checking out this book review. Again, this was my first book review I've done. Not everything is perfect on this. My editing could have been a bit better, but it's a starting point for something completely different. But so like for this part, I didn't have any extra footage and such for behind the scenes stuff with the review I've done. So instead I threw in some gameplay of Jak and Daxter, which I recently completed a few days ago. And you might be saying, what, you didn't complete this game when it first came out? Well, yes, I did play this game when it first came out on the PlayStation 2, which is still my favorite game console to this day, but I wasn't that confident in my abilities to complete it because of how tricky many people made it look to be. So, while I was able to beat it on my own terms, and the platforming hasn't gotten any better. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. So, the reason I'm making this a message is because I wanted to make it more of an apology to those that I actually said I would make this video and get it posted. And I want to especially offer my sincere apology to Yuta, whom wrote the book that I just reviewed, because I said to him several times that I was going to be making a book review of this and I would be posting it soon. And that was over the course of 4 to 5 months. So here's my reasoning behind this. It's a long story, but originally this video was supposed to be completed and published in June of this year. And it was around the time I finished my second year at college. And over the summer, I ran into some problems that pulled me away from completing the video. But to make a long story short, my dad at that time got out of his knee surgery, in which he had to replace the entire knee from his leg and replace it with a metal cap because his original knee was shot. So I needed to help. So he was going through a lot. So I was helping him a lot throughout the summer, especially with the hay season, which from what I heard from our farmers was terrible because of the drought. And I was busy with a lot of other things and such. And I wanted to get back to it like around September and such, but but this semester proved to be more busy than I would have anticipated. So finally, like around this time, like my finals are coming up. I'm writing like some essays. Like there's not really like any like exams I have to take, but there's like essays I need to write up and complete, and I'm still doing them. And I'm not like I'm not procrastinating such. Well, some I might be procrastinating on, but still, I'm getting those done, and I managed to get around time to complete this video, which actually took me much less time than I would have thought, which makes me wonder why the hell didn't I complete this video months ago. But as like the old saying goes, it's better late than never. So to Yuta, if you're watching this, I am really sorry about getting this video out late, and I hope that you enjoyed this. And I really loved doing this, and making this video actually inspired me to actually like create like a series on my YouTube channel to be focused on like as I like to focus on like obscure games and such and do let's plays of, which I am still doing. I like to make a series about obscure books, like read them, like physically read them, and then give my overall thoughts to them and whether or not I would recommend them to anyone, because there are a ton of obscure books out there that you just need to take the time and effort to do some digging around. Like go to your local thrift stores, because they have lots, and I mean lots of books, and you'd be amazed at what you'll find there. So yeah, overall it took a while to get this video out there, but I'm glad it's out there now so I can focus on other things, and I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the book as well. And I highly recommend that you subscribe to Yuta, whom has reached more than 200,000 subscribers, the most I've seen for any Japanese YouTuber. And I don't know, I think he's probably the only Japanese YouTuber I know, aside from like a couple of other, but he's like the one that's getting momentum. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and if you want to give me like any like suggestions and feedbacks, just let me know in the comments section or something like that. I would like recommend if anyone wants to see more, subscribe or leave a like, but I don't want to be that kind of person just to condescend on people just to get more subscribers. I'm not all about that. I just like to do this kind of thing. So thank you guys, and as always, I will catch you guys later.